Shut up. If you want proof that we're the ones to blame for loot boxes, look no further than Mass Effect 3. The card pack system was so incredibly profitable that not only did EA insist that other games include multiplayer, but some players even spent over $15,000 on card packs.
Fucking jump off a bridge.
Ballin'.
$15,000?
Okay, for starters, Robbie, where did you get $15,000?
I bought exactly one loot box off of that game.
That is more than my annual salary.
But, like, you know, we sit here and we kind of bemoan loot boxes and DLC, and then you look at the margins and you go, oh, this is a problem of our own making.
Oh, they literally have no option in this.
We did this. Yeah, like, you actually have to be insane to knowingly walk away from something like this.
Yeah, Chris, if I gave you the ability to print money, would you not do it?
Well, of course I'd print money.
Exactly, and that's
exactly.
And Heartslot in the chat says EA needs to burn in a fucking fire. Which, while that's true for other reasons, this isn't one of them anymore. No, this is squarely on us.
Yeah,
guys.
Again, it's a consumption problem. If nobody bought this shit, they would have stopped making it.
That's right.
If nobody bought this shit, they would have looked at other ways to be able to get people to spend money on their fucking products.
Yep.
But it's the fact that we keep throwing money at them to the tune of $15,000 for one fucking person, and that's the thing, is that you only need like one of those, and your margin that you're making back is so huge.
Right, when you look at your options for how to sell your game, you're like, well, cool, I can sell the base game for $60 and a collector's edition for $150, and then it's over.
Right.
I might have, a $10 DLC every now and then, but that's all I can get. Or I can do this system wherein many people will pay me maybe nothing, but a lot of people are going to pay way more than the MSRP of the game, and some people are going to pay me $15,000.
But you know what? It's really, really easy to look at $15,000 spent and go, oh, that's so fucked up. Oh, look at that guy. Look at what a fucking asshole.
It's easy for us because we don't make any money.
It's easy. Well, but that's an astronomical amount of money. Mm-hmm. The problem is that, whenever it affects or whenever it infects a series that we like, and then we can justify it to ourselves, we partake in it. And it doesn't matter if it's $20, $40, $50, $100, $15,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think like any amount of that is bad. And it's interesting to watch companies go from RMT is bad, we have to keep this off of our servers, to taking the reins of it and becoming the arbiters of it and going, no, that transaction is going to come through us. We're going to drive the value. We're going to drive the market, and we're going to take the money.
Because they're in control then, so it's not hurting the economy.
But here's the thing is that, so RMT wasn't really the problem. It wasn't the practice of RMT that was the problem. It's that you weren't getting that money. It's that you weren't getting a cut of that, or you weren't getting any of that.
Yeah, exactly.
That is the fucking problem. And we can sit around and call video game companies greed pigs all we want, and they are fucking greed pigs, and that's pretty obvious. But when you have consumers shelling out like they are, then it's really hard to hold them entirely accountable for
exactly.
that.
If you're going to have people shelling out that kind of money for the product, and you think that someone at this company is going to stand up and, for the sake of art, say, no, we're going to say no to that truckload of money, and instead do this model that pays us only a sack full of money. If you think that's going to happen in a corporate structure, you're out of your goddamn mind.
I mean, it starts to become a lot more, you start to understand why, newer IPs do the whole DLC run, because, you got to try to maximize your fucking profit, even though a lot of those games haven't earned the right to do that. Sure. And a lot of sentiment ends up getting kicked back, but it doesn't matter if you've got, a player base of 3,000 and, 200 of them are spending astronomical amounts of money. You know what I mean? Like, and that's at that point, it doesn't fucking matter.
It's astronomical to us, but here's the problem: is there are millionaires and billionaires who play video games, and to them, $15,000 is nothing.
Yeah.
That's just them saying, cool, I can get a bigger game experience for 0.0001% of my wealth as opposed to 0.00001% of my wealth.
Yeah, Drea Poetic in the chat saying that bubble's going to burst on this eventually and it's going to suck for everyone. I'm not really sure what this bursting looks like. It already sucks for everyone because it's affecting single player games. When you look at something like Shadows of War, you don't actually have to buy loot boxes, right? Well, they don't affect the actual gameplay. Like if you're playing through it normally, you're actually at a disadvantage by buying loot boxes as opposed to just going and hunting for the actual orcs or weapons you actually need. But by putting it in there, you lose nothing, and there's going to be somebody somewhere who does spend a bunch of money on it.
I don't see how the bubble bursts.
Yeah, it doesn't. That's the thing.
For the bubble to actually burst, people have to stop buying and playing video games.
That's about it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's it. And then the whole industry suffers.
Yep.
And then, you get to be bored. What are you going to fucking do? How are you going to make up that difference?
Well, that's
play card games.
For this bubble to burst, it's going to require a massive hit to the industry at some point.
Yeah.
And by the way, for gamers, it's going to suck for you too.
Well, but
Heartslot says regulation, but unless they're willing to sit down and classify microtransactions and loot boxes as gambling, or identify some sort of problem that it creates for children, then we're stuck with it.
You better write the FTC on that one, because they're the only ones who are going to help you there.
And you know what? I don't see that happening. I don't see it happening.
That's probably the best way, because if you're going to buy a game that should normally be, like rated E for everyone type deal, like a Hearthstone, for example, but suddenly they're saying, no, you have to be 18. Well, why do I have to be 18 to buy this? Well, because it has gambling in it. They'd feel that. You would
absolutely feel that.
Yeah, but the ESRB is not.
No,
I mean,
it has to be the FTC.
Yeah,
well, and again, why would the ESRB classify it as gambling? They're an industry regulation board.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Like they're made up of gaming industry people.
They have the industry in mind.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I completely agree. It'll have to be a government. And as much as we've always been against like government interfering in the gaming industry, because that's always been terrifying to us, in this case, we kind of need that to happen.
I mean, it's going to take a developer taking it to a real extreme and then it being successful for that to happen. And I mean, will it happen eventually? Maybe. But it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be fun at all.
7 years after its inception,